Good morning.
Hi, David. How are you?
Good, nice to see you.
I have my friend Michelle with me. This is David.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, David. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
We're excited about the retreat too.
Oh,
Yeah,
right
she's
on.
going too.
Oh, fantastic. That'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, for sure.
Shut the door.
Yes. Hi, David.
Hey, Carrie, I thought you were in Hawaii.
We're going to Hawaii on Sunday.
Okay.
So we won't be here. Hop on the bed. I'm going to move this. My girlfriend Sherry is here, and she is from Michigan. And we're doing it in this room, in this house we're renting in Palm Springs. So
Awesome.
we're on these beds. And Sherry and I both we met when we had our sons David. Both of us have Davids that were in preschool together. So that's how long we've known each other and been buds.
Oh, wow.
And that's
Small
why I
world.
love you. I love all my Davids.
Aw, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's
So
cool.
the
So
only
it's
thing
friends.
you know about Sherry is she really can't sit cross-legged because she has a hip replacement scheduled for July.
Okay, no problem. We're going to be doing a lot of, today's practice is more of a laying down practice, meditative practice. So all good. It's Friends Day. Julie has Michelle and you have Sherry.
And Sherry hopefully will do this when she's back in Michigan, right?
Oh, awesome. Well, I'll make sure you get the information if you feel like you like to practice.
Right.
And I've posted all of these up on my YouTube channel now too. So if you ever want to revisit them or go over stuff, you can go to David Romero Yoga, and it's there on YouTube too. So yeah. There's Pat. I'm not sure if we're gonna have Ann here. Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Hey Pat, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going to put it
Good.
on the chair
Good.
so that we don't have to worry about
Good morning.
kicking it.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's ready to drop it for a second.
I'm gonna put that over here.
Well, I wanted to, first off, thanks everybody for being here today. Grateful to have you here and be a part of this practice. Boy, what a week it's been. All kinds of stuff's going on. I find that the breath practice is a great way to stay centered amidst all of it, because one thing is for sure, when our minds start to get active and we start to get anxious, the breath starts to change rapidly, and then stress levels start to ensue, and then we start to have like a release of oxytocin, or not oxytocin, but adrenaline, and all these other functions start to take place inside of our bodies too, which are stress producing. So I'm grateful that you're all here. I'm going to put everybody on mute right now, and we'll get into our practice. There's two areas I wanted to talk about today. One, more of a scientific standpoint, and I always like to look up small cohort studies as well as larger randomized studies too that discuss topics of scientific importance. And one of them it pertains to this practice is pranayama and the breath. And there was a study done in 2012 called Yoga Breathing for Cancer Chemotherapy Associated Systems and Quality of Life, results of a pilot randomized controlled trial. And essentially they took about 16 participants included in the final intent to treat analysis. And the conclusions of this was yoga breathing was a feasible intervention among patients with cancer patients receiving chemotherapy. Pranayama may improve sleep disturbance, anxiety, and mental quality of life. a dose-response relationship was found between pranayama use and improvements in chemotherapy-associated symptoms and quality of life. There's something to it, you know, and I know that individuals that are going through things like diseased states that may include cancer, that may include digestive health, that may include just mental health as well, that by systematically slowing the breath down, becoming more present, and leaning into the practice has an effect that is profound, not only on the physical body, but also on our states of mind too. Some may call it robbing from Peter to give to Paul, but whatever it is, we are shifting from the overthinking process to the here and now process, because breathing always takes place in the here and now. It's always here in the present moment. And when we return to the present moment, we can begin to practice things like introspection, begin to be more aware of what is on our minds, that narrative that may be going through our head that is producing stress. And we can start to find a little bit more peace in the process. Now, with that said, that ties us into this week's practice, and that practice is the topic of willingness. I've been sharing from this book called Power versus Force, and I know we have some new folks on here, so welcome Michelle and welcome Sherry. This is a really fantastic book. I would recommend reading the book Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender first. It's by Dr. David Hawkins. It sort of gives I would say maybe more of a prologue or a preface to what's inside of this type of book. This book's a little bit more clinical in understanding, but both books are great books to read. And for this topic of willingness, he said, at willingness, this very positive level of energy may be seen as the gateway to the higher levels. Whereas, for instance, jobs are done adequately at the neutral level, at the level of willingness, work is done well, and success in all endeavors is common. Growth is rapid. These are people chosen for advancement. Willingness implies that one has overcome inner resistance to life and is committed to participation. Below what he calls the 200 level calibration, which would be below courage, people tend to be closed-minded. But by level 310, which is where we find willingness, he uses a number scale to help delineate, a great opening occurs. At this level, people become genuinely friendly, and social and economic success seem to follow automatically. The willing are not really troubled by unemployment, for they will take any job when they have to, or create a career or self-employment for themselves. They do not feel demeaned by service jobs or by starting at the bottom. They are naturally helpful to others and contribute to the good of society. They are also willing to face inner issues and do not have major learning blocks. At this level, self-esteem is innately high and is reinforced by positive feedback from society in the forms of recognition, appreciation, and reward. Willingness is sympathetic and responsive to the needs of others. Willing people are builders of and contributors to society. With their capacity to bounce back from adversity and learn from experience, they tend to become self-correcting. Having let go of pride, they are willing to look at their own defects and learn from others. At the level of willingness, people become excellent students. They are easily teachable and represent a considerable source of power for society. And I saw this quote yesterday. It wasn't really a quote, but it was basically just two lines. One line said, "Why is this happening to me?" And then it has a strike through the whole line. And below that, it says, "What is this teaching me?" And when we start to put on our willingness hat, in all respects, I don't mean just here and now, but we can begin to see that there's always a teaching taking place, that we can be students to life. We can be students to each other. I was listening to this podcast yesterday, 2 days ago, excuse me. And my partner, Shelly, and I, we do a lot of relationship work together because we feel it's helpful in our growth. And I'm happy to send you the link to this. It's about an hour-and-a-half talk by a couple of really great licensed marriage family therapists. But one thing that they said was, attunement is not agreement, but it is understanding. And by that, what they mean is that we don't have to agree with each other on everything. And I see that that's something that comes up a lot in today's society, is that if you don't agree with me, then you're not my friend. Versus, it's okay that you don't agree with me. I just want to understand where you're coming from. Because when we start to do that, we start to attune. Now, what does that take? That takes willingness. It may take some willingness to lean into discomfort. It may take some willingness to listen to some things that we may not necessarily want to hear, but that's okay, because I have my perspective, you have your perspective, I respect you. And because I respect you, I also want you to be heard as well too. And so that would be an example of attunement. But it's important that if we're going to practice that, then we have to have the willingness to let go of some stuff. And that's where pride and ego sometimes get in the way, and desire and fears get in the way. All of the work that we've done so far in these different lessons and breath work, we've kind of been building up to this area, which is willingness. Do we have the willingness to look inwards at ourselves? Do we have the willingness to see from another perspective? It doesn't, again, mean that we have to agree with it, but do we have the capacity to be able to just lean into that a little bit, so that way a connection can be made. It's important to remember with any and all of this, boundaries are of value. And if any point in time, if a boundary is broken, then we have to voice our concern about that and have to speak up for ourselves. But as we get into today's practice, willingness not only to do this work, but willingness to lean into some questions. I'll be asking some introspective questions in today's practice. Introspective questions meaning we have to ask ourselves these things and just watch the answers that come up. We're not here to judge the answers as good or bad. We're not here to judge the questions as good or bad. The question is a question and the answer is the answer. That's it. And if we can look at it from that perspective, we can see how our minds sometimes rationalize things or break things down or create stories or scenarios for ourselves. Ultimately, as this pertains also to a yogic context, one of the second lessons that we learn in yoga is the observation of mind fluctuations, meaning it's watching how the mind overlays a story. In yoga, we would call this a maya or illusion, because there's what's taking place in reality, and then there's what is the perspective and the conditioning that's also overlaying its thoughts and opinions on the event that's taking place in front of us. I hope that makes sense for everyone. And, we'll work into this today. I'm so grateful for your time and your energy and effort for being here and your willingness, and we'll get into our practice, okay? I'm gonna head over to my mat. And we're gonna start laying down on our backs. I'm just gonna turn these lights on here. The kiddos were in my room down here playing, and I have a bunch of different lights that change colors, and they like to play with the disco lights. All right. So let's lay down. Let's place our left hand over our hearts. Place our right hand on our belly. Just allow the collarbones to spread. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Let your head relax. Feel the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, begin to relax down towards the ground. As your hands rest on your body, let the elbows and triceps touch down gently on the ground. Feel the hips, pelvis, and buttocks release. Relaxing the upper legs, the knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. And with a more relaxed body, begin to get a sense of where you're at, the room that you're in, the people that may be in your room, if there are any, the different sounds of the room, the temperature, if there's a draft or breeze. And as we start to tune in, let's start to tune into the breath. Just begin to notice the inhales and the exhales. Notice how the belly rises with each inhale slightly, and how it falls with each exhale. Notice how the chest subtly expands with each inhale, and how it collapses with each exhale. We're going to take about a minute. I'd just like you to observe the breathing process. Don't try to breathe. Make no effort to breathe. Your body is already putting forth that effort. And as you observe how the body's breathing on its own, try not to describe the breath. Just observe how the air flows into your body. Maybe it's through your nose, maybe it's through your mouth. And observe how it flows out of your body. Perhaps it's through the mouth, perhaps it's through the nose. At this point in our practice, once again, making no effort, just starting to turn on the observation mode, the witness. The best way to describe this would be to just, it's like taking the hands off the steering wheel and just trusting. Your body's breathing on its own. You're relaxing into its natural rhythm of however it's showing up today. Not in any rush to change the rhythm or pace. And let's start to slowly breathe together. In through the nose and out the mouth to begin with. Smooth breath in through our nose, down the spine, into the lower belly, chest expands. Exhale out the mouth, sigh it out. Inhaling through our nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhaling through our nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhale through our noses. Exhale, sigh it out. Do 2 more rounds. Inhaling through our nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhaling through our nose. And sigh it out. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Keep the same rhythm, same pace, same depth. And as you breathe on your own, in and out through the nose, check in with your body. Observe how your body's feeling after taking those 5 to 6 deep breaths. Is it already starting to feel a little different? Start to become aware of any stress, pain, tightness, soreness, imbalances throughout your body, from your head to your toe to your fingertips. And as we move deeper into the practice, staying with the breath, please listen for the cues and be here now. So our next breath, we'll begin to do some breath retention, learning to hold the breath without panicking. Now, as we hold the breath, there may be a level of anxiety or panic that comes up because we don't quite know how long we're going to hold the breath for. We're going to hold it for approximately 25 to 30 seconds. As we hold the breath, I'd like you to try to relax into your body as much as you can. As you relax into your body, just notice any activity of the mind, meaning become a witness to the little internal voice that may be there. Having a willingness to trust the practice. If for whatever reason you have to surrender the breath and exhale, that's okay. But our work is to let go of panic, to let go of anxiety, to let go of worry, and just notice when those thoughts may arise. That's all. All right, let's begin. Breath retention. Please exhale out all the air, empty your lungs completely. Then take a long, slow, full inhale, filling your lungs all the way up to the top. Hold your breath at the top of the inhale. And as you hold the breath, relax into your body, and time begins. Exhale, letting it go. As you exhale, observe any sensations that arose as you did this. Maybe colors behind the eyes arose too. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. Inhaling through our nose. And exhaling out the nose. All right, 30-second hold this time. Please take a long, slow, full, deep breath in without straining, holding your breath at the top of the inhale. 30 seconds, relaxing into your body, hold here. Just observe the mind, whatever may be there, showing up. Allow it to come, allow it to go, not panicking over it, not worrying over it, not stressing over it, knowing that at just the right time, we'll be able to exhale and all will be good. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And smooth breath in. And smooth breath out. All right, last round, breath retention. Please take a long, slow, full, deep breath in, eyes closed, holding your breath at the top of the inhale. 30 seconds begins. As you hold, relax. Letting go of stress, letting go of worry, letting go of anxiousness. Thoughts come and go just like waves come and go on the ocean, just as clouds come and go in the sky, just as flowers bloom and disappear on a bush. In 3, 2, 1, exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And smooth breath in. And smooth breath out. All right. As we shift gears, this is going to be another practice in breath retention, but we're going to do what is called box breathing. And in our box breath, I'll do a 7-count inhale, 7-count hold, 7-count exhale, and 7-count hold. Now, we'll go 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we'll go 10, 9, 8, 7. So we'll do box breathing all the way up to 10 counts, and then we'll do box breathing from 10 counts all the way back down to 7 again. Now, during that period of time, especially at the base of the exhale, that'll be a great opportunity to just observe what comes up when the body feels like it's starving itself of oxygen or airflow. You may notice that that panic or that tension may start to set in. I ask that if you for some reason feel that, just try to do the best you can to relax into it. Know that you're going to be okay. That's all a part of the bigger practice. All right, so let's do this together. Starting with 7 counts. Let's do a clearing breath first. Inhale. Exhale. And let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8-count inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hold 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, exhale 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pausing 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exhale 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's all take a deep breath in, fill the lungs up. Open the mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Deep breath in. Open the mouth, the mode, sigh it out. One more time, inhale. Open the mouth, the mode, sigh it out. All right. So from here, the next breath I'd like to do is a breath retention, but it's going to be at the base of the exhale. Now, this one's a little bit more difficult for a lot of people. And so my suggestion with this is at the base of the exhale, you're going to exhale out all the air and then just pull the navel in slightly. And so that contraction of pulling the navel in slightly will help you retain the exhale a little bit more. It almost feels like you're creating a negative vacuum inside of your lungs, like you're pulling everything in and up. It's kind of hard to tell on my screen, but I can demonstrate while I'm laying on my back. You're going to exhale out of the air, and then it's going to be a sensation of you trying to breathe without breathing any air in. So it'll create this almost like a negative pressure. So let's try to do this the best that we can. In further classes, I'll do my best to explain just a little bit more when we have a little more time. But we're going to hold for first time 20 seconds, and then we're going to do 25 seconds, and then we're going to do 30 seconds, and we'll see how we are from there. All right, so let's begin. First, a clearing breath. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale out all the air. Inhale your lungs fully. Now exhale, empty all the way out. Pause at the base of the exhale. Once you empty the lungs completely, pull the navel in. 20 seconds begins now. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, fill lungs up. This time, 25 seconds. Exhale, empty the lungs all the way out. Empty, 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 empty. Pause at the base of the exhale. Pull the navel in towards the spine, then hold here. 25. As you hold, relax the shoulders. Keep the navel pulling inwards. Observe thoughts as they come and go. No need to stress. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smooth inhale. Just observe what came up during that. Smooth exhale. Smooth inhale. Smooth exhale. And smooth inhale. This time, 30 seconds. Exhale out all the air. Empty the lungs all the way out. Empty, 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 empty. As much as you can. And once you get to the bottom, pull the navel in. 30 seconds begins now. As you hold, let the thoughts come and go. Like leaves passing by on a river. No need to get attached to any one thought, any one narrative. When we start to panic, the voice of the mind starts to get very, very loud. Just observe that loudness if it's showing up for you. 2, 1, inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, letting it go. All right. So 30 seconds is going to be our magic number for this next set. And we're going to start off just with only 4 sets today. I'd like us to build up to about 7 in the future. But we're going to do 4 sets of a 30-second hold at the top and a 30-second hold at the bottom. And we're just going to toggle back and forth with no other breath in between. I'll say inhale, we'll hold for 30, and then I'll say exhale once that 30 is done, and we'll pause at the bottom. And we'll go back and forth. Now, I'm going to do this with you. I'm not going to coach too much with this, but all I'd like you to do is observe the thoughts that may be present when you're holding. Your mind may start to count 30 seconds. Just observe how it does that. That's a security thing. Trust the practice. Lean into this. You may start to notice that your mind may start to say, oh, what is this all about? Why is this? Why are we doing this? We shouldn't be holding it this long, or, you know, it's already 30 seconds. Just notice narratives like that that may show up. And I'm cueing you this now because oftentimes it does show up. And all I'd like you to do is be present with it. Just be willing to lean into that and see what that's all about. In yoga, we would call this dharana, which is concentration, and dhyana, which is contemplation. Okay, so let's begin. We're first going to start with just an inhale, exhale, and then I'll say inhale 30 seconds and we'll begin. All right, so let's all take an inhale, fill our lungs up. Exhale, empty the lungs, let it all out. All right, and let's begin. Inhale, fill the lungs all the way up at the top, and then hold the breath. 30. Exhale, let it go. Pausing at the base of the exhale, 30 seconds. 30. Inhale, fill your lungs all the way up to the top. 30. Exhale, emptying all the way out. Empty, 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 empty. Pause at the base of the exhale, pulling the navel in. 30. Inhale. Fill lungs all the way up to the top. Hold it, 30. Exhale, letting it go. Empty the lungs all the way out. Empty, 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 empty. Pause at the base of the exhale. 30. Last round, inhale. Fill your lungs all the way up to the top, hold. 30. And exhale, empty the lungs all the way out. Pause at the base of the exhale, 30. Navel in. Inhale. And exhale. You probably noticed as we got towards those final rounds, the body may have been tensing and tightening up a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. Smooth breath in. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. All right. I guess to add some gentle movements now, slowly release the arms down along your sides and lightly start to move your fingers and move your toes. As you move your fingers and toes, circle your wrists and ankles, and be conscious of your breath. Conscious of the breath. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Turn your head to your left. Turn your head to your right. Bring the head back to center, slide the feet in, bring your knees into your chest, and give yourself a loving, gentle, kind hug. Deep breath in. Exhale. You know, and during those breath holds, please do not beat yourself up at all. You know, that is something that is a conditioned response, especially for some of us that may have been competitors, or sometimes we compare ourselves to other people. That's all we have to do is have the willingness to look at that. You know, if we're beating ourselves up or getting frustrated with the breathing stuff, just look at that internal voice. Be willing to look at that internal voice and ask introspective questions such as, who is that voice truly speaking to? And why is that voice so angry inside of my head? Is it not getting what it wanted? You know, we can ask ourselves these things to kind of pause and stun the mind a little bit. Lower your feet down, take your legs forward again. On an inhale, reach your arms up and over your head. In just a moment, we'll do a guided meditation into our bodies a little bit more. And as we do this guided meditation, I'll be asking some introspective questions we can ask ourselves. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning of the practice, inhale, reach. Exhale, arms down along the sides. All right. So as we get into our meditation, separate your feet about mat's distance apart or about a little wider than hips distance. Let the toes roll outwards. Turn your palms face up, shoulders down the back. Let your chest open. And from here, smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Let's start with our heads. Introspective question to ask ourselves as we relax into the head. What is on my mind? As you ask yourself this question, ask it sincerely and genuinely. What is on my mind? And just observe any answers or internal voice that arises. It may be nothing, it may be something, but just observe. Relaxing the crown of the head, relaxing your forehead, relaxing your eyes, lips, mouth, jaw, tongue. Releasing any facial expressions. Deep breath in. Exhale. Introspective question to ask ourselves. Who am I? Allow that question to arise. Ask yourself, who am I? And just observe any answers to that question, not judging them as right or wrong, good or bad, not questioning why that question's there in the first place, as that is a sign of mental defense that may show up. Who am I? Observe how any answer just arises, and observe where that answer arises from. The willingness to be so keen in observation. Relax your neck and your throat. Question that we can ask ourselves, introspection. Am I living my truth? Am I living my truth? Observe any answers that arise, not pushing them away, not beating ourselves up if it's an answer that we don't like. Just observing, witnessing. If the answer is yes, then continue. If the answer is no, then let us have the willingness to look and make some changes. Relax your shoulders down your back. Let the collarbones spread. Relaxing the tops of the shoulders, the sides, the fronts, and the backs of the shoulders. Next introspective question. Am I speaking my truth? And this isn't just a one-off question right now, but just in day-to-day life. Am I speaking my truth? Observe any answer that arises without judgment. Observe if the question was brushed away in any way, shape, or form. Just being direct with the self as we possibly can through introspection. Relax the arms, elbows, upper arms, forearms. Question introspective to ask ourselves. Am I carrying anything extra? Am I carrying anything extra? You know, we could be carrying an extra story. We could be carrying an extra resentment, an extra self-criticism, an extra self-judgment. It's an honest question to ask ourselves. Am I carrying anything extra? Observe the answer that arises internally. Going back to the second question, am I living my truth? In order to live our truth, we have to answer that question honestly and not beat ourselves up or judge ourselves. If perhaps we aren't, and it's okay, we're human beings. Relax into that humanness. Relax the wrists, relax the hands, relax the fingers. Next question. Am I holding on to something? Am I holding on to something? We can be holding on to a resentment. We can be holding on to, a hurt or a trauma. Just let the answer arise. Don't fight it. Allow it to be what it is. But if we are still holding on to something, are we willing to address that so that we don't have to carry that energy any further, so that we can speak our truth and live our truth, to understand the true I as it fully is? Deep breath in. Exhale. Relax your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae down. Introspective question to ask ourselves. Am I feeling supported? Am I supported? Feeling supported? Am I supported? Observe the answers to this as it arises. Yes, no, maybe in some areas. Remember that you deserve support and that you have support. And if we're holding on to something, let us come back to the present moment, because in this moment right now, we are fully supported, right here, right now, always and in all ways. Allow the chest to relax, allow your collarbones to spread a little bit more, feel the rib cage relax, take a long, slow inhale. Exhale. Next question. Am I allowing my heart to be open? Am I allowing my heart to be open? Yes, no, maybe. Watch the answers that come up. We close our hearts off to a lot of different things, people, different opinions, things like that. Just observe answers that arise. And as we continue to let go and live in our truth and speak our truth, we honor our truth. What is the I doing? That I. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Relax the belly, abdomen. Relax your hips and pelvis. Next question. Am I open to change? Am I open to change? Where does change cut off for us? Where do we shut down? Where do we say no to change? How does that show up inside the body? How does that show up in our minds? Just observe. For life is always and ever changing, from the macro to the micro, flowing with life. Observing resistance, while also trusting our intuition and our hearts. Deep breath in. Exhale. Relax the legs, upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. Last question. Am I living in fear? Am I living in fear? Just observe the answer that arises. For fear is a stagnator that stagnates us from moving forward, from flowing. Life continues to move forward no matter what. And deep in the center of our being, we flow with that life, but inner resistance can sometimes arise due to fears. Am I willing to look at those fears? Am I willing to ask help about those fears? Am I willing to dissolve those fears so that I may live more freely in this lifetime, in this body? Deep breath in. And exhale. All right. Whatever answers that came up, Those answers for you and you only. If you choose to reach out and ask for some help with them, please reach out and ask for help. We're community. Community is immunity. We help each other. We don't have to do this work independently. But what we can do is be a guide to one another to help in our own realization of self and of our work and service this lifetime to each other. Slowly move your fingers and toes, roll the shoulders out, slightly bend the knees. Reach your arms up and over your head again. Give yourself a long stretch. Inhale. Exhale, arms down along the sides. Let's gently roll off to our side. And then I'm gonna come up and go over to the camera here, a little out of it. You can take yourself off mute if you'd like. How do you feel?
Relaxed.
Good. These questions that we ask, I'm asking them for a reason, because these internal narratives in our life control a lot of us. And I feel like some of the really great spiritual teachers that all of us look up to, and they can be found in different ideologies: Jesus, Buddha, Abraham, Ramana Maharshi. There's so many enlightened ones that have been out there, but they all, I feel, work towards these same type of questions, and they're all involved in our own sense of self, because our I is part of the identity, and that identity is created due to different things that took place in our lifetime. And as we return on this journey home back to the self, as my friend Frank calls it, it's a 0-step journey, but it's a return back to the center. And these introspective questions are a tool that we can ask ourselves from time to time. Just check in. And, if we're finding inner resistance, it's having that willingness to dive into and see what that inner resistance is really all about. All right. So I hope you found today's practice helpful. Do you have any questions or comments?
It was really hard for me to hold in the 30-second one. I could hold it on the inhale, but on the exhale, it was so hard today. I don't know why.
Yeah. What came up?
Same thing for me.
I just couldn't hold it. I just felt like stuck. And there was like by the fourth one, I thought I was going to get it and I didn't get it. Yeah.
No. Yeah. It will come. Could you tell how the mind was activated at any point, or how it started tensing up, or like almost yearning for a breath?
It wasn't even in my mind. It was a body thing.
Yeah, it was like a whole body thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, did you feel, what was the sensation you felt?
I need air.
Yeah.
I just didn't, I tried to not get angry at myself that I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I felt panic.
Felt panic, yeah.
Felt here, like.
You felt what?
Oh, I'm not on mute. When I was the out breath, as I told you, I felt, it felt tense around the a little below the neck, I'd say. Like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, I need a breath. I need a breath.
Yeah.
I'm holding out. I can hold in fine.
Yeah. This is a topic that's always an interesting one to bring up, but I find it's helpful, for at this point in our life, every single one of us has this life inside of our bodies right now. And when we come into this world, we come in on an inhale, but we leave on that exhale. Yeah. And as we leave on that exhale, I find that the work that we do in this lifetime, moving towards that point, because I don't know whenever it's going to be, I don't know when that's supposed to be for me. But I find that if we practice relaxing into that exhale in just day-to-day life, and having worked with end-of-life patients, that for whatever reason, there is less struggle in the surrendering process. And I find that when we practice the exhale holds, it is a huge piece of resistance that, there's the body fighting for it, but there's also I'm letting go and just trusting this process too. I feel it's a good metaphor just to sort of kind of work with, along the way. And then we can also, if we're panicking on that, imagine how all these other people that are walking through life who aren't even doing these exercises are just panicking in day-to-day life too. And the breath is a huge indicator of that. We're purposely inducing this to be able to do introspection and observe, but there's many people that are walking around us, not judging that as good, bad, and different, but who may not have these tools accessible to them at the moment. But as a result, it's just panic, like constantly charging their body with breath, and being able to be calm around that. And also, asking these questions, are we living our truth? Are we speaking our truth? Are we, and if so, we can, I find, be of service and be of help to other people as well. I have my work with it, so please know that I'm not perfect with this. I have my shit. But, I find it's a good reminder just to keep coming back to over and over.
You know what I did too, right before last week when we did the in and out through the mouth, and then you did the holds at the end. When we started doing the holds without the in and out through the mouth, I was like, well, maybe I don't have enough oxygen in me to do the out breath. I was actually thinking that. So that's a mind thing for, yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I'm glad that's awesome seeing. Like you're seeing that voice. You can see the voice now,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's wild. Like you can start to see that. And you're like, oh man,
Right.
what else is this trying to tell me? Oh, this person's a bad person. Well, why are they a bad person? They're just doing person things or whatever. They're a good person. All right, they're okay.
They're doing person things.
You know, it's funny how the mind does that. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. I'm going to close out here. I'm going to actually stop the recording. But if you have any other questions, I'll be on for a little bit. Love to hear about your experience. And if I don't see you till next week, have a wonderful, wonderful trip, Carrie, to Hawaii.
Thank you.
And I hope, nice to meet you, Michelle, Sherry, great to see you too. And nice to see you, Pat and Ann and Mark. Love you all. Have a beautiful day.
Love you too. Thank you.
Talk to you further,
Alrighty.
David. Are you
Sure
gonna
thing.
be
Let
on-
me, yep.